Hi everyone, Kelly here. Welcome to day 23 of Squaretober, and I hope you guys are doing well with your challenges. Today I sprayed my paper down and I put a mixture of burnt sienna and phthalo blue down on the paper, just in a very organic way, and I wanted to see how that would look. I could have used Cascade Green, but I wanted to mix it myself to determine how blue or how brown I wanted to make it. Then I added a little bit of buff titanium and splattered a little bit on too and let that mix right on the paper. I'm trying some techniques that I've seen other artists use and that I've tried in the past without a lot of success. This tapping the paper, tapping it so that the paint runs down to the bottom of the paper, that has not always worked well for me, but I kept up with it. And a 4x4 square of watercolor paper, it's large enough that you can gauge how a technique works without wasting resources if it doesn't go well. I thought it would be fun to add some gold. This particular gold is a little bit cooler. Well, it's a lot cooler than your typical gold, and it's a lot warmer than silver. It's called Moon Gold, and it's from Coro or Fine Tech. I added a little bit more of the darker concentration of the green that I mixed. And I think I finally got the sweet spot of how much water to add so that it would run to the bottom of the page without just pooling down there and collecting, which is usually what happens to me and why this technique is usually, I don't have a lot of success with it. But I did get it to work there, and I liked the effect of it. And then I wanted to add a little more gold to it, and I thought maybe I would add it to the top where it was paler over the buff titanium. And I also thought I'd add it to, I just thought I would add it to the darker part too underneath that. And maybe it would sort of create some mountainous looking layers. This was purely experimental. I had no idea what it was going to look like when it dried, whether it was going to be opaque or whether it was going to become very translucent. I just didn't know. So I kept moving it around with my brush, trying to determine, whether I liked the direction it was going or not. And after that dried, what I found was this is a very reflective color. Some golds are just shimmery. This one was downright reflective, and it was distracting. And it didn't look good. It looked like I just plopped some gold paint on it. So I put some of the green mixture over it, hoping that that would carry that gold pigment down to the bottom of the page in a really organic way, maybe leave some metallic hard edges on those drips. But it really didn't do that, and I could tell it wasn't going to. And I didn't know what approach to take, so I decided to let it dry and see what it looked like when it was done. And I let myself look at it and just feel what I thought it needed. If that sounds new agey or something, I'm sorry. But some of this isn't just visual. Some of it is definitely feel. It's tactile, and it's, I hesitate to say sensual, but it kind of is sensual. It's more about mood and the way it feels to make certain marks on the paper. The way that feels is also the mood that you create, if that makes sense. And I wasn't really, I was sort of thinking about it, but I'm just now really articulating. I didn't put it in linguistic terms while I was doing this. It was very, I hate to say intuitive, but yeah, it was intuitive. What does this painting need? And what what do I feel when I'm making these marks? And what kind of mood is that going to create? I was thinking all of that without actually thinking it in words. I'm sorry if that sounds weird, but that's exactly what, what it was like. And after that dried, I was looking at it some more, and I was very surprised that the gold came through that darker paint. I wasn't expecting that. So I emphasized some of the marks that came through that darker layer. And again, this is very reflective paint. So, and I thought it would be distracting again. But if I had it to do over again, I would have left those marks just the way they are here instead of diluting them. But it's all live and learn, right? And if I did it the other way, I might have thought I should have diluted that. I'm going to have to do it more times and experiment with it. But I did add some more of the dark green in here, and I liked the way some of it was more transparent and some of it, so it had a lighter value, and then I put more concentrated pigment on top of it, and I liked the way that layered, and it seemed like I should maybe emphasize some of the more graceful marks with some ink. And I think that part was very effective. I'm glad I did that. And I used a brush tip for that so that it would have a little variation in line width and be a little bit more graceful. And some of it I did not put over the gold, and some of it I did, because I wanted it to look like it was not all on top of or underneath. I wanted it to look more interlaced into it, like integrated into it. And in the end, I really like the way this painting turned out, and I'm definitely going to experiment with these techniques some more. And so I'm hoping that you guys are getting the same kinds of things out of your art challenges and that you're enjoying them and having a little fun with it and maybe not taking it too seriously. But anyway, you guys, be creative, be well, and I will see you in tomorrow night's video. Bye-bye.